Hi everyone, my name is Stephanie Phillips. I'm the founder of World Childless Week and we're here today, Sunday, for Moving Forwards. And very luckily we're joined again by Bindi Shah to do a second meditation of the week, which I'm really looking forward to. So I'll briefly introduce you to Bindi and say, hi Bindi, it is wonderful to have you here for the second time. Loved our webination yesterday. I'm really looking forward to it again today. So I shall disappear from the screen and hand everything over to you.
Perfect. Hey everyone, how are you all doing? So yes, Sunday morning, or maybe different time zones for you all, and lovely to see you. So I just wanted to start then to see if there are any questions from yesterday or any queries before we start. So put them into the chat or the Q&A for me, and I can have a quick look and see if there's anything. So if anything came up for you from yesterday, if you were on our meditation yesterday, especially because if it was the first time you're meditating, we need to really remember that a lot of things can come up because we're going inward, and inward is not usually the thing we do. We're usually very external in life with things. So once we go inward and listen in, things which have perhaps been hidden, not spoken about, things like that can come up. So it can sometimes bring a little bit of worry as well to you. So I just want you to make sure that everyone has been okay, and if things did come up, try not to worry about them. That is the norm in a way, because it is going inward, and those thoughts that you don't usually have can be heard and can be seen. So if there's nothing, we'll start. No, I don't see anything. Okay, so we're going to start then with breathing again, and today is all about small steps to move forward. Now, when our lives have not gone the way we expected, so there was a different path you wanted to be on, and now it's childless, not by choice. So when we have such a big thing like that happen in our lives, that movement forward is so difficult. It's not easy, and there's the grief, the loss, the hurt, the pain, all of that letting go. So if you didn't have if you weren't here for yesterday's meditation, do please do it, because we did a lot of letting go around that hurt and pain around this journey that we're on. And moving forward from that is not easy. So what I always say, and what I've done myself, is small steps to move forward. Yes, you want big things to happen. Yes, you want different things to happen. Yes, you want to be healed. We need to take the small steps. It's not an easy route. It's not an easy route to moving forward. And actually, the easiest way to move forward is taking those small steps, those little steps, and doing them regularly, having a routine, making sure you're doing things. And then gradually these accumulate, they grow bigger and bigger. And in a few months or years or weeks even from now, you'll look back and you'll think, wow, there is progress. I am moving forward. I didn't expect it, but I am moving forward. And it's taking those little steps. So what do we feel about small steps then? What are these small steps? The first ones, I would say, are self-care. We need to think more about looking after ourselves. And that is all that self-care is, caring for yourself. There's physical self-care that you can do, like having walks, taking a bath, relaxing, napping, all of those physical self-care parts. And then there's the emotional and spiritual self-care parts. So that's more looking after your emotional self. So meditation really moves a lot with that and with the spiritual. It can be things like having walks which are more observations. I call them soul walks. So you're really looking at things around you, nature walks, allowing that healing to come about, allowing that nurturing, that nourishment, writing, reading, all of those things which are really going to help yourself. That is taking small steps to your healing, small steps to move forward. So that's self-care. And then the other small steps that we're going to talk about to move forward are the little things you can do on a daily basis to bring you joy. So some of those things will be the self-care things like the walk and writing and the meditation. They'll be bringing you little bits of joy. And if you're not quite there yet, think of the smallest small thing that you could do. And what I started doing, which I'll share with you when I really couldn't do anything at all, was I started to develop and create myself a tea ritual. So I would have an afternoon tea, and instead of simply boiling the kettle and having the tea bag and, you know, it's over in a minute, I would put a saucepan on and boil the water, put the tea bag into the water. Then I'd put a little bit of the Indian chai masala spices, so a bit of ginger and cinnamon and cardamom, and have that more as a ritual, and then add the milk and the sugar. And it was like, wow, this is more, you know, it takes a bit of time, so you're focused on it. And it's nurturing for you, it's nurturing for the body, and you can actually sit down afterwards and savor it. So maybe something like that speaks to you, or coffee time, or that you're going to cook something and it's really nurturing for yourself. And that is part of a little bit of joy for you for your day. So let me have a look if there's anything. There's nothing, no questions, no chat. Okay, so let's start. So have a little think, and when we go into the meditation, I'll get you to connect again. Do you remember we connected like this to our inner self? So we'll do that again, and I love just doing that just to stay connected as well. We'll do that, and we'll just see what little joys are out there for you, what you can start doing, those little smallest of small steps, the first things you could do. Okay, everyone, so if you're all ready, get nice and comfortable, sit how you like to, on your chairs, on the floor, cross-legged. You can lie down. The most the most important thing is to be comfortable. So be comfortable. Don't think about, oh, my leg's aching. Move your leg. Be really comfortable. So sit down nicely. And then when you're ready, close your eyes. We'll start by listening to the breath. So inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose or the mouth. So the breath in through the nose, breathing out through the nose or the mouth. And really allowing yourself to settle in with your breathing. So if you're not used to listening to your breathing, it's always really interesting to notice how you do breathe. Is your breath more shallow at the moment? How deep into your body are you breathing? Notice how your body moves as you breathe. And if there's thoughts, that's fine. I want you to acknowledge those thoughts and let them go for later. Say to yourself, okay, I'll think about that later. And allow that thought to flow away, to float. And then bring yourself back to your breath. And we really want the breath to bring you into this moment of time. And the more in the present we can be, the more in the moment, the better for us. If we're too much in the past, then we're too much with worry. If we're too much into the future, then we're too much into the anxiety of what's going to happen. So the best place to be is in this moment, this present moment. And that's what breathing does. That's what listening to your breath does. It holds you here. And we'll start relaxing our breathing more. So we'll do our breathing out, our exhalations for longer than we are inhaling. So I'll count to 5, and for the count of 5, you'll inhale. And then I'll count to 10, and we'll exhale for 10, or as long as you can, longer than 5. So really the aim is to exhale longer. And what this does is this relaxes the body, relaxes you. And the more relaxed we can be, the deeper we can connect within, the deeper we can be with the meditation. So we'll start. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, notice how your breathing feels. Hopefully it's a little more relaxed. I will do another round of the breathing, another round of 3. So we'll start. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then take your own deep, deep breaths. Whenever you feel anxious during the day, during the week, remind yourself that by exhaling longer than you're inhaling, you can relax your body. So even if you inhale for 3 and exhale for 4 or 5, it's that process of exhaling longer which is relaxing the body. So now you're fully in the moment. Let's connect then with the inner self, the inner being, the part of you which is your soul self, your spiritual self, your inner self, whatever you want to call that part. And I like to connect by placing one palm or both palms at my chest, at my heart center. And I like to think of this like a gateway to my inner self. And you can do the same, or you can connect just within. And as you connect to that part within you, really feel that connection. That inner self part is sometimes not heard. We sometimes ignore it or block it as we live in our external worlds. But really that part within you is the part that knows you the best and the part that you can connect with for your healing. And really this childless, not by choice journey that we're all on, that needs a lot of healing for us, a lot of healing to move forward, to move through all of the hurt and the pain. So that connection with your inner self is really, really important. And then when you feel connected, ask yourself, what brings you joy? What are the little things that you might be doing at the moment that you actually like doing and that nourish you? What did you do before your grief that nourished you and that brought you joy? Is there something that you can revisit? What small steps can you take towards your self-care? This meditation is definitely part of that. That's part of your nourishment and your self-care for today. What else can you do, or what can you do in the next few days? What nature walks do you like? What nature is around you? So nature, Mother Earth is another thing, another wonderful thing, which is very, very healing for us. Do you like writing? Is writing part of your self-care? Is writing part of the joy that you have? What about art? Do you create art? Are you creative? Music, dance. So I'll give you a few minutes to really be within, be with that joy, and start really visualizing yourself, imagining yourself there with all of those things that bring you joy. And if any time it becomes too much, becomes too overwhelming to think about joy and steps and self-care, then bring yourself back to your breath, your breathing, and stay there. Stay with your breath, stay with the connection to your inner self. Always, always take care of yourself through all of this. Listen to yourself and do what feels good. what brings you joy? Really visualize yourself doing those small steps, going for your nature walks, taking photos of the flowers, having your tea or coffee ritual. What are you doing? What are those steps that you're doing? Start seeing yourself and really start feeling into it, knowing that you can do those things, that you're worthy to have those joys in your life. As you visualize yourself doing those small steps, can you see those steps accumulating? Can you imagine yourself moving forward, healing, nourishing yourself? See where this takes you, because it is those small steps which are the first step. So a few more moments, see if there's anything else that wants to come in around joy, around small steps, around self-care. And then very, very gently, whenever you're ready, and know that you can always connect with that inner part of you whenever you need to, with or without meditation. That part is you. It's a part of you, but it's really you. So before we ground and come up completely, we'll start surrounding yourself with a ball of light. So imagine all the way around your body that there's a ball of light around you, and you're sitting or lying down in that light. And this light can be any color, the first color that comes to you. And what this ball of light does is it keeps all of that positive energy which you've created and grown during the meditation. It keeps that close to you. And that in itself is very healing for the body. And it allows you to be in that positive energy for as long as you can, for the rest of the day, for the week. And the ball of light can be as big as you want it to be. It can surround your whole room, or it can be very close to your body, whatever feels right for you. And then when you have your ball of light around you, and again, this is something that you can do even if you don't do a meditation. You can surround yourself with a ball of light whenever you need to. Whenever you need to stay maybe a little bit more in your own energy, your own positive energy. And then we'll gently ground. So grounding keeps you in this moment. It helps you to root and to stay here, to be present. So very gently feel your energy move down the body. Down your arms, down your torso, down your legs. And the energy moves down into your feet, into the balls of your feet, the soles of your feet, the heels. And then from your feet, I want you to imagine and feel roots moving into the ground. Really see them go down. Going down through the floor of where you're sitting or lying down, moving into the actual earth. And as they move down, they become strong like tree roots, so really thick and big and strong. And those roots move down deeper and deeper into the earth. See them move down, feel them. And then when the roots are down there into the earth, that's Mother Earth there healing you. That's nature. And all of that goodness can move up into your body as well. So if you want to feel that, just feel the energy moving up again from the roots into your feet, into your body. And then moving down again if you want, so that you have that real connection with earth and that real grounding. And grounding is so, so important, especially when there's a lot going on and when you feel a little bit airy and not quite with it, or there's a lot of chaos around you, a lot of emotion around you. Then grounding can help you come back into the moment and also come back here, be on earth. And then when you feel grounded, move back to your breath. Breathe in, breathe out. How does your breath feel now? Is it gentler? Is it slower? Is it deeper? Okay, and then when you're fully in your breath again, start being aware of your body. Move your legs, move your arms, stretch if you want to. Really allowing yourself to come back here into the space where you are, into our virtual space. You can start opening your eyes. Taking your time always, so when you come out of meditation, don't jerk yourself out and come out abruptly. Take your time, stretch, be here. And what I love doing after meditation is writing down or journaling my thoughts around the meditation, because especially when we've gone in and we've really connected with our inner selves, so much can come out, so much goodness, insights, things that were hidden that we didn't feel or know about until we go in. So it's always good when you meditate just to have a little notebook by you where you can just jot down things that have come up, or you can go further with it and start journaling. Okay, so when you're all ready, you can come back. So how was that? How are you all feeling? Do you have some small steps that you can start with? Put them in the chat if you want to. Maybe things that came up, things that you might think, yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to start. And I actually want to show you and have this perhaps as an affirmation that you can use for today. So an affirmation is a positive statement that you say to yourself. And I have, these are my oracle cards which I created, and I have that affirmation. I start with the smallest of steps. And I really think that's so, so important. And I hope that that came through. Thank you everyone for the comments coming through. There's a question. Okay, so we have a question. How do you stop mind wandering in meditation and sometimes drop off? So yes, the mind will wander. As soon as you start moving inward, all of those things that were somehow blocked because we were doing other things, right? Like you were working or you were busy with people or chatting and all of those things. And the mind will wander, because it's like it's being set free in a way, like you're listening to it. It's like, wow, I can say all these things, and you know, I can do what I want. So it will wander. So don't worry about that. That's very natural and that's very normal. What you do is, when it starts wandering away from you during a meditation, you gently bring it back. So you say to yourself, okay, I will do that later. And then you bring your mind back to whatever topic or theme that you're meditating on, or you bring it back to your breathing. So if you're doing a simple breathing meditation, bring it back to the breath and start with the breath and keep with the breath. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. In a way, it's like you're training the mind. You're training the mind to not run away from itself. So I hope that answers the question. And where do you get the cards from? So the cards are on my website link, which is on the links on with the meditation on World Childless Week, but it's bindishah.com. So it's a pretty easy link or website.
Yeah, I was going to say the upload for this webinar won't take place till tomorrow, unfortunately, but I will ensure Bindi Shah's details are on there, so you can go along and look at everything she does. The cards, beautiful cards, and you actually designed the mandalas on there as well, didn't you?
I did. Those cards actually came from a place of soul. So it was all to do with getting those messages from my soul and everything around the soul and meditation. So they're very special to me and hopefully to others as well. And they're amazing to use for meditation, even as a theme. You know, if you don't know what to meditate on, just pick a card, meditate on that theme.
I think as long as you can just pick cards like that as well, and just think, what do I need today? What do I need to think about today? I focus on. You pull a card, or you pull 2 or 3, and you just look at those and see if you can find some meaning within them and use them in positive different ways, which is good. There was a point brought up that I just wanted to go back to from somebody. They made. Let's see if you can address that for us. And they said, when we went to the joy part, I became aware of a lot of pain in my body.
Yeah. So that's okay, so let's go back to the start. Let's go back to the start with our childless, not by choice journey. It's a tough journey that we're on, and it's we know how hard it is. We know it's not the easiest. And when you're still in that grief, that loss, that hurt, that pain, even thinking about joy is so alien. It's so alien. It's nothing that you think that you can ever even feel. So yes, you'll feel pain. You'll feel physical pain, because there has been that physical pain within. So what I would recommend is, again, it is the small steps. And also, if you haven't listened to yesterday's meditation, because what we did yesterday is we did a letting go with the breathing, with the exhale breath, letting go of that hurt and pain. Because what happens a lot is, when we have so much hurt and pain and loss and anger and sorrow and all of those emotions within us, it's very difficult to feel anything else, anything at all. So it's really important to start letting those things go. So if that meditation, if you can do that with your exhalation breath, otherwise, if it's too difficult to let go, try just doing the littlest thing. So not even thinking of joy, but what can you do for yourself instead? Can you have a bath, like a bubble bath? Can you go for a walk? So maybe not thinking of it as joy, but more as you're nourishing the body or you're healing the body. Does that answer the question?
I think it did there. I think it does indeed, because like you say, we don't realise emotional pain can become physical pain, and when we relax in that state, then that physical pain does come forward.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Well, somebody says they missed the card. Do you want to show it up again for us,
please?
please?
Yes, of course. So Yes, so the mandala I created as well, the affirmations, and then on the other side of the card, there's a little bit of a deeper message. So exactly what Steph was saying about maybe using the cards just to like a daily message for yourselves as well. So I can read some of this actually because they're quite nice. Small actions are doable and can lead you on your way. There are tiny little, the smallest of small steps you can take today. So this card is really all about the small steps. So the cards will have different different pictures, different mandalas, different affirmations, different words. And you can, I've done a whole video on this actually, and I think somebody did ask about meditations online, and I have a YouTube channel with them, so they're all free on there. There's a few meditations, some are short, some are long, and I do actually, there's a video on the cards as well, so you can have a look at some of the different cards and things like that on there too.
Because they've each got a different mandala as well, haven't they?
They have. I mean, I can
really, yeah. I love that they've got that creativity going on.
Different. You see, they're all different. And then they've all got the writing on the back. So yeah, they are a part of my life's work for sure.
But yeah, it's good that you've got, like you say, through your website they can find all of your meditations that you've got for free online as well, which is wonderful. Do you actually run classes privately?
I do. Well,
I'm asking almost for myself rather than to let other people know.
I do, and I am going to do more. So during lockdown, so last year, I had my awful health challenge going on with the adenomyosis and then the hysterectomy in September. So I didn't do much at all. And I'd come away. So my own childless, not by choice journey, that whole grief. So I actually came away from physical classes because I was teaching physically, and it all became too much. So you can imagine when you're going through your own grief and loss, it's very, very difficult to then be there as a support for others. So I came away from it. So now I'm coming back to it. So it's really good for me, and I can see that as a progression with my own journey coming back to teaching. And yes, I will be doing group online classes. At the moment I do the one-to-one meditation over Zoom more as soul healing meditations, and I'm going to be doing group ones as well. So if anyone's interested in, especially you, Steph, I'd love to have you. Email, and maybe if you can subscribe on my newsletter, and then I can send out, or I will put out messages all over the place when I'm ready. Definitely.
No, it's lovely. And I think it's really good the fact that you said you recognised when you had to withdraw and pull back a little bit. And I think that's something we all have to accept, that not every day when you think, oh, I've had a wonderful day, and then if you slump the next day, just accept it. Don't try and worry too much about it. Just accept it's what it is. Deal with it emotionally, and then move on again the next day or the next week, whatever it takes.
The moment, yeah, and that's exactly what that present moment is. Stay in the present moment, because some days will be really hard. Your grief will come up, you'll be triggered, and some days will be easier. And I think that's where staying in the moment really, really helps. And also recognizing that grief is not linear. It can come round and things will go on. And taking those little steps, doing those little things for yourself, you actually accumulate then your strength. You build your strength. You keep building your strength with all the walks that you take, all the bubble baths you have, and the tea you drink, and all the ways you're looking after yourself. You actually will build up your strength. You'll build up, you'll build up, you'll build up. And yes, you'll still get triggered. And hopefully by then you will know the techniques that can help you and what you can do. And with meditation, because you go inward, sometimes it's not right for you at that moment and you can't do it. And it's funny because I do have a meditation on YouTube which is called What to Do When You Can't Meditate, because that happened to me a lot last year when I couldn't. So, and I've been meditating for years and teaching for years as well. So, you know, it happens. And yeah, there's other things you can do, like the grounding and being in the moment and breathing.
And I think it's really important, which is what I wanted. Again, the slight change of focus for Sunday, because it used to be moving forward and finding acceptance. And I suddenly realised that people don't necessarily like the word acceptance, or they feel they're not accepting. So I thought I need to remove that and change it to just moving forward, because as you say, we move forward in the tiniest of steps that we don't always see or recognise or don't think are big enough. We sort of almost like, no, that's not good, that's not big enough, we need to have a better step. And it's remembering that all those tiny little ones build up and make a difference. But we don't always see it until we reflect backwards rather than looking forwards. We have to reflect back and think, oh, I've just done something, or been in a situation that would normally have triggered me, and it didn't. And then you realise you've moved forward. Like you say, it's all these little tiny steps that can make a huge difference.
Yeah, and acceptance is such a triggering word, actually, because it's like, do you really want to accept your childlessness? No, like, who does? And it's not about accepting, it's about living and moving forward. Yes, and simply living, isn't it? It's about being here now and being able to find that joy again, which you had and was brought down. So there is something on the chat. Yesterday, when I thought of something joyful during the meditation, I also had an overwhelming sense of sorrow. So yes, that, and just put, maybe that was me struggling to let go, perhaps, but also what I said before, when you go inward, all of those emotions come out. So try not to worry too much about it. Maybe know that will happen, and then after the meditation, do something nice for yourself. You know, if you know that things are going to come through, you can do something else.
I think it's also a case that sometimes, because we've buried those emotions, so the fact they're coming to the surface might not feel nice at the time, but perhaps you're releasing that little bit of pain, so there's less held inside. But don't think because you've released it once that it's going to be the end of it. You're going to have to possibly do it again, time and time again. But it's all a way, and that's the way with either using, like say, your art or your writing or your meditations, finding what suits you best to help you make those little steps, or combining all of them, even better. But it's what resonates with you and gives you that peace of mind.
And different things will resonate at different times as well. So, you know, it might be that now, you know, you're very into writing, but maybe next month you might not be able to write. So then it's finding something else, or knowing that there's different maybe times of the year which are more delicate for you, or different, you know, that then you know that, okay, during that time, maybe I'm going to be more nurturing for my physical body. Maybe I'm going to cook more, or, you know, even just like creaming your body, massaging your skin, you know, just little things that you can do that will nourish you, and knowing that you're then healing yourself and helping yourself, and that you're moving forward. Because I think we have that thing of moving forward means something big, and actually moving forward means living our days and getting through our days,
sometimes the minutes and the hours.
Yes.
But the fact is, like you say, we are moving forwards. Very much so. Don't think it's I know, that was lovely, so relaxed.
Good, I'm glad. And that definitely, that relaxation should last. And you know, you've all got those balls of light around you, so that should be nice and nurturing as well.
Thank you so much. It's been really, really lovely having these 2 sessions with you. And like I said, somebody was concerned they hadn't watched yesterday's and before today's, and it's like, mix, match, do them both, do just the one, whichever resonates with you. Again, it's about what resonates for you at that day, on that day, at that moment. So that's the good thing, isn't it? We can just return to them whenever we need them, or not if we need them, but when we just want them. It can be our self-care. To do a meditation is our self-care.
It definitely is. Yeah, it definitely is. And thank you thank you so much, Steph, for everything that you do with World Childless Week. I think we can all say that you're doing an amazing, amazing job, and a big job. And thank you for everyone who was on this meditation, because also when I'm in the meditation, I just feel out to everyone and have that kind of group collective energy going on. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful virtual space. And it's actually quite amazing that we can meditate in a virtual space and feel that energy, and we can. So I hope you all felt it. Thank you for being in this space.
Oh, yeah, get some nice messages through now to say thank you.
Thank you all.
Yeah, no, it's been a lovely day. I sort of like, you get to the point where you just don't want to end these webinars.
I know.
You're so relaxed. It's like, okay, do we have to stop? But no, thank you. Like I said, it's all of you that make World Childless Week. It's all of us as individuals who make World Childless Week, and there's so much love between us all, and I think that's what we can all feel. Yeah. But yeah, so thank you for that. Oops, my phone's going off on a silly alarm. Apologies. Let me just turn that off. I had to keep it on just in case my computer crashed and had to come back on through the mobile, but thankfully it hasn't. So, so on that note, I'm going to say thank you again to you, Bindi, for leading that, and thank you to all of you for coming in, doing the meditation with us. And yeah, goodbye, and we'll see you all again at the next one.
See you later.
Take care.
Bye.